joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
awesome.
happy to be here.
Awesome. So Kevin just joined us for our Conversations with series with Century. So we're going to have a lot of the same conversations that we just did, but I would love to have everybody share with you, or you share with everybody your background. So Kevin is from Lexington
Sure.
Partners.
Yeah.
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 Awesome.
So thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
And what a cool experience it was speaking with all your coworkers back there. All very impressive people, and I'm amazed that they even wanted to hear me speak while they're eating lunch. But I'm glad to be here.
Awesome guest. Yeah.
A little about me. So I started my career in 2007 with Gilbane Building Company, and I worked in the business development department there. Worked on some really big projects with them at a very low level on the totem pole, obviously. But we were responsible for the Prudential Center job out in Newark, New Jersey. That was the big one in my time there that we ended up winning, which is where the New Jersey Devils hockey team currently plays. That was a long time ago. And ultimately took my career to New York City and worked in business development for construction out there as well. Did that for over 10 years and moved back to great old Connecticut about 4.5 years ago, right a couple months before the pandemic.
Okay.
So.
Great time to come back.
Yeah, and so that was me coming back. My father was looking for some help on the business development front and helping grow our construction firm and help with all different aspects of what he did, which was development, and so I came back, started working with him and had the pleasure of working with him for around 4 years. So
great.
Yep.
Awesome. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is you said you're very involved in the Hart Lift Program in Pratt Street.
Sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about, one, for the people who don't actually know what the Hart Lift Program is, what that is, and some of the business that it's helped bring downtown?
Sure. Yeah. So during the pandemic, I went out and got my real estate license because getting brokers to represent retail in downtown Hartford during that time was very difficult. And one of the big reasons why was because you could hear a pin drop on the streets. A lot of folks working from home, obviously, and pretty much our retail here in Hartford was for the most part wiped out almost completely, with the exception of a few institutions who fortunately made it. But when I started in my endeavor to get businesses to come downtown, the biggest objection was funds. And a lot of the initial businesses we were attracting were first timers. Folks that were looking to start their first kind of brick and mortar operation. And a lot of them just, unfortunately for just lack of experience in commercial build outs, didn't understand how much things cost. So, long story short, we knew that objective or objection kept happening over and over again. This was around the same time that federal funds started coming through to the state for COVID relief, and we worked directly with Mayor Bronin, Julio Concepcion of the Metro Hartford Alliance, and a bunch of other people that I'm forgetting to name, but basically to craft the Hart Lift Program, which is a grant from the city that gives incoming retail businesses $50 per square foot towards their build out. $50 a square foot on 3,000 square feet is a sizable amount of money, and it's something that really gave people the confidence to commit to Hartford. So
yeah, what I liked about it, I met with Kate Bowman a few months ago, and when she had educated me about it, I liked that the money, it was essentially as long as the landlord had the lease, the
Mm-hmm.
landlord could spend that money, right? So they granted it to the tenant, but so
That's right.
so that if the tenant
Mm-hmm.
moved out in a year, broke their lease, that at least the landlord was left with a
right. So
fit out space.
spot on.
Yeah.
So essentially, I think the way that it ended up working out, and the way that it was easiest was the landlord could prove losses caused by the pandemic. They could directly prove that they stopped getting rent at this date, which was a lot of times February or March of 2020, and could directly prove that their business was negatively impacted, and so essentially, yes, the landlord also, though, to get Hart Lift funds for their incoming tenant, need to match the city's contribution.
Yes.
So
that was too,
yeah. So all of the spaces that we owned or managed, all of those spaces that had incoming Hart Lift recipients were provided $50 a square foot for their build out from the landlord, as well as the city of Hartford, which led to $100 a foot, which in many cases was a sizable amount.
and revitalized most of the buildings on Pratt Street. Yeah,
it did.
Yeah,
and there, I truly believe that without that program, we wouldn't have been able to get people over the hump, to giving Hartford a shot. And it got the snowball effect has officially started, where we're really starting to attract now some of the Class A restaurant groups that are starting to kick the tires on Hartford, and it's all thanks to getting started with a lot of these mom and pop shops out here that have really created a lot of activity and a lot of optimism about the future of Hartford retail. So
yeah, we're really excited about. What are some of the? Can we let us know some of the businesses? Like some of Bloom, was that part of it, or were they before?
So Bloom Bake Shop, they definitely got Hart Lift funds.
Okay.
I didn't directly work with them, but they were kind of a model group as it relates to that program. On the side of the street that I really worked on pretty hard, we have convinced Husky's Tavern from UConn to come down. That build out is beginning very soon, in the next couple of weeks, actually. Going down the line, we have Wonderland Comics, which is a really cool kind of Marvel themed comic book shop for the family and for the kids that are coming out here. We did a full renovation on a brand new professional barbershop that's been there many years, and just got an amazing refresh. We have El Gallo y El Coqui, which is supposed to be a very amazing Puerto Rican fare restaurant.
Okay, someone who came and used the rec, a nonprofit. I think it was actually the Hartford Foundation had a Latina fund here, and they catered it.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, they make great food, and it sounds like they're going to have an emphasis on salsa dancing and all that kind of stuff, which is amazing and much needed around here. And Salsa Night on Pratt Street is one of the busiest nights in Hartford every time they do it. Okay. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. I unfortunately am not a great dancer, but otherwise I'd participate whenever they have it. But yeah, so we redid the tobacco shop. Jerry down there, he got a brand new cigar lounge. Brand new ventilation system. The place looks beautiful. And then going down the line, we have the Lion's Den live music bar that's coming soon. We have a soul food restaurant that's coming down next door to them, and then at the end of the street, where Dish used to be, we have the Charles Weathersfield is doing a concept called the Drake. And many more. I could go on. I can go on all day.
Yeah.
But the point is that you can see that the district has kind of filled up, and it's really a aspiring to, get people out of West Hartford and Glastonbury centers every once in a while and come give Hartford a try again.
Yeah, there's a lot of exciting things going on down here. Yeah, that's great. So tell us about Lex. So you are a broker with Lexington Commercial, but what did you call it? The four chairs.
I guess we call it a four-legged stool, but stool, the original is Lexington Partners. That's our real estate development arm. We're actively doing large scale multifamily and mixed use multifamily projects all over the state. Lexington Property Management, that's our property management arm. We manage 3,500 apartments nationally, all up and down the East Coast, as far down south as South Carolina. And then we have UConn Construction Management. It's our construction management arm that builds stuff for Lexington, but also is on the open market and actively building for other major developers around the state. And then of course we have NAI Lexington Commercial, which is the brokerage arm.
Yeah. So tell us about some of the ambitious projects, so some of the projects you guys have working on in multifamily around the state.
Yeah,
so
sure.
Like you had mentioned the Litchfield Courthouse, which really piqued my interest. I think that sounds cool.
Yeah. So Litchfield Courthouse, it's darn close to a 200-year-old courthouse building right in the center of Litchfield. We started looking into that an RFP for the Litchfield Courthouse. And especially, my father, Marty, he thought, boy, Lexington Partners, we're known for, historic adaptive reuse projects and, really difficult, development deals that other folks wouldn't take the time to, or the brain damage to figure out. And he decided that the Litchfield Courthouse was something of the scale that some of the younger developers in our shop, which included my older brother Patrick and myself, among others, could use the experience on a kind of smaller scale adaptive reuse project. Yeah. So we went for it, and it proved to be so incredibly complicated to figure out, that I can truly say the experience of it was probably the best experience any of us have ever had working on a development project.
An education in itself.
Education in the historic projects and how much goes into getting them entitled. And so the entitlement process took close to 2 years. And we're happy to say that it should be opening in late August. So,
oh wow!
And it's incredible. We've partnered with this group called Salt Hotels, and Salt Hotels has they specialize in high-end boutique hotels in really cool markets like Nantucket, Provincetown. They're in Los Angeles, Miami. Really cool destinations and they are setting up a food and beverage program for the restaurant and bar there that's going to blow everyone's mind. And, and finally, some affordable hotel units in Litchfield.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. It sounded like it was relatively inexpensive comparatively to the other ones. Yeah. So,
there's, Litchfield has a lot of bed and breakfasts and really amazing places like the Winvian, where sometimes, it could be as much as $1,000 a night. This is a boutique hotel. The rooms should be, in the $300 range a night, which is very feasible for anyone looking to go antiquing and try some awesome restaurants or whatever.
Date nights. I like that. Night away. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I like that a lot.
Absolutely.
Great. Yeah. I guess just Hartford in general, right? The thing that we had talked about, is this what Hartford needs? We just heard that UConn has committed to building some student housing on Pratt Street.
Sure.
The influx of the conversions to multifamily downtown. Do you think this is we're headed in the right direction?
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's really exciting. I think for me, and just simply because I was raised to really hold Hartford in such high regard. And Hartford obviously has a reputation that travels around the suburbs of our area, where I kind of always say nobody's harder on Hartford than our local folks, and I lived in New York City for 10 years, and I came back here, and I see a lot of promise for Hartford, and I really think that we're making the right steps forward. We have Arunan, who's an awesome new mayor, who's really going with a progressive approach that I think is attracting a lot of businesses. He installed some really great guys in the administration that are really helping things along as well. But we've got an emphasis on student housing right now, making Hartford more of a student populated city, which I think we need for the vibrancy of our streets, and to support a lot of the retail and fun concepts that we're bringing along. But that paired with all the apartment development, which I should add, every time a new apartment development gets built, these properties are filling up, to a borderline capacity within a couple months. So Hartford is proving that people want to live here. And we're pairing that with adding students and adding more fun, exciting things for them to do. I think that's all going to lead to what I hope is, maybe a mini Providence. I'm not saying, we're ever going to be a Boston, but, I think we could aspire to be a Providence, and I think we're well on our way. So,
yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And this was great.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, let me know if you get enough clicks, and I'll come back anytime. So
Thank you.